Today we're back in the Wheels Through Time restoration shop and we're getting ready to put one of my favorite bikes back on the road. Our pal John here brought his 1949 Hot Rod Harley Davidson Panhead, one of my favorite bikes in the museum, period. So much incredibly cool about this, and today's the day that this bike hits the road again for the first time. So John and I are going to get to work and we're going to tell you what exactly makes this bike so special, and hopefully we'll be riding down the road for the first time in a long time. So the bike at hand, guys, 1949 Harley Davidson FL. So much special and so much milestone about this machine, and it's got an incredible story with Wheels Through Time Museum and of course with Mr. John Dills here. So the bike is all too cool, dude. It's everything that people love in period hot rods. The way I look at this motorcycle, it's got to be one of the earliest period hot rod panheads that there is. I mean, it's just so much packed onto this motorcycle. The way I look at it is, guys like us, every part in the book, if we had it at our disposal, we couldn't build it as well as this guy built it back in the day. So 1949, second year for the Harley Davidson Panhead. Big revolution in Harley Davidson's engine technology and engine development. Panhead aluminum heads, so they're going from like 36 to 47, 12 years of that Harley Davidson knucklehead. Cast iron, built heat. What they did when they updated the Panhead, they made it breathe better and they made it cool better. So they ran the Panhead from 1948 through 1965. They made them in 61s and 74 cubic inch jobs really early on. This is a 1949 model FL, so that's a 74 cubic inch job. So 49 also first year for that Hydroglide fork. So this is when they're making these things into pure road machines. You get that hydraulic fork on there and the bikes just run so much smoother, ride so much smoother. A ton of great response. They updated the brake up there to give you some real stopping power. And this thing is made to burn up the road. So this thing not far from getting cranked up again for getting put on the road for the first time in a long time. We've already run the bike and we did an oil change, John, adjusted the chains, and we actually noticed that this thing leaks some fuel. Yeah. And we've got a new fuel shut off that actually our pal Matt Olson makes. We're going to install this as an absolute replica of what is in the tank now. So we're going to get to work. You guys hang with us and we're going to be running this down the road in no time. Okay, John, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to pull these tanks off. It's actually a lot more involved to install one of these than most people think. It'll give us an opportunity to straighten out the fuel shut off assembly also to make sure that thing operates absolutely perfect. So dash, I'll get the tools, dash, gas tanks come off, fuel lines, and then we'll get over on the table and work.
What's so important about this bike that I got from my mentor, my friend Dale, I miss you so much. He made me the caretaker of this 49 Harley Davidson Panhead, and in my opinion, it's the best looking one out there.
So many of you guys have seen John in our videos before. John's been painting here at the museum for right on 20 years almost. Close. I bet he's probably painted 75 or 80 of the bikes inside the museum. Does some incredible work. What we're going to do, I'm going to peel this off. I'm going to take the fuel line off. You pull the dash, grab a screwdriver. Okay, good stuff, man. So
this is a gentleman's choke. It's when you went to a meet with your friends and you were wearing your nice clothes, you didn't want to get dirty. They actually had a little contest which team would stay the cleanest during your meet. So you would have this gentleman's choke so you wouldn't have to reach your hand underneath and get greasy.
So period accessory part, just one of the many things that makes this bike as cool as it is. It's absolutely packed with tons of rad stuff. The gentleman's choke being one of them. So you pull this air cleaner off and instead of flipping that choke underneath, you can see the action working. The lever is basically a special accessory kit that all came together. So speaking of accessories, loaded. Oil tank sight glass, really cool piece. Actually, my pal Matt Olson remakes the oil tank sight glass. Same guys over at Carl's Cycle Supply that make the fuel shutoffs. Matt makes this reproduction oil tank sight glass. So crazy as it sounds, you drill 2 holes in your oil tank. It's gasketed on the back, and you've actually got this oil sight glass here that gives you a fill level, tells you exactly where you're at, lets you know if your oil's too low. So oil tank sight glass, you got some really cool tins on the top, accessory luggage rack rails. John, what are these hubcaps from? Those are
these are off of, well, we found out this came off of a Hudson.
Hudson car,
which is crazy. And they look beautiful.
Yeah, it fits it perfect, man. Front and rear. They made wheel discs for Harley Davidsons, but guys adapted all sorts of things. These look way cooler than the factory.
So it's got to be done early 50 with this paint job too, which is
right. That's just got to be one of the earliest
flames too.
Earliest flame jobs I've ever seen, dude. Hellings bars. I mean, the bars, you sit on this bike and it absolutely feels perfect, ready to jam. Tons of 49 only stuff on this too, guys. So black fork legs, 1949 only front nacelle. Doesn't say Hydroglide on the front. Early style headlight.
This little
you got your period parking brake, which locks your brake down right here. The Chattanooga twin stack pipes, super cool. I don't know if those are Atlas or MCM or Stories twin stacks, but those pipes are as bad as they come. They
sound good.
Sounds incredible.
We got custom primary
over on the other side. Yeah, that's a really cool setup. Little short front fender here that looks like it's probably from a spare tire. Yeah, Model A spare tire cover. Yeah. Character, attitude, personality. Inside the museum here, there's all sorts of incredible motorcycles of all types, stock bikes, racing bikes, and some of our favorite stuff in there is the period modified stuff. And this bike just has character dripping all over it. So, okay, so
awesome.
Ready to get the dash off. We'll pull the tanks, and we'll go ahead and put that new fuel shutoff in.
Here we go.
I gotcha. Oh. Cool. Wow. You know what that looks like, man? It looks like original black paint.
It is.
So this...
No tab repairs.
This here, what it looks like is there's overspray up top. But I'd be willing to bet that most of this is...
All they did was spray the gold over top of the original with the red pinstripe. That's exactly what that is.
How's it taste?
Tastes like victory.
Yeah. All right. Period customized gas tank. I mean, look at these flames, guys.
It's very elementary.
Primitive, dude. It's primitive.
Yeah. What people don't know is there's hundreds of different styles of flames. They have seaweed flames, and this style is your typical, like the hot rodders from the 40s and 50s. This is what you would have.
So what we got going on, guys, and what we're doing today, crucial part of the whole scenario is you got to be able to shut your fuel off. So what we notice about John's bike is the gas tank, the left side tank is where your fuel shut off is. It works on a plunger setup. So this screws into the bottom of the tank. There's the crossover line to the other gas tank, banjo fitting that slips over the top here. Now there's a needle and seat assembly right here that seats down in the fitting here, and this fuel line here, or this fitting, connects to the actual carburetor. If you can't shut your fuel off, the thing's bound to leak. Fill the top end potentially if your needle and seat in your carburetor doesn't work perfectly. So you flood out the engine, it's a fire hazard, there's all sorts of issues. And on top of that, you take this thing anywhere and it stinks up your trailer.
Right.
So it stinks up your garage. So what we're doing is assembling the new needle and seat. Yeah, that ought to have suction. And I'm sucking right through it. It's screwed down like it's open. Where this one, suction to the lip.
Right.
So this will be an easy fix. What we've got is a factory tool. This is really a pretty neat setup. Now, you're going to do this because you've done 100 of them. John's probably done 100 gas tanks using the factory tool. What happens when you tighten down the shutoff rod so many times is the top and the bottom get out of alignment.
Yes.
Yeah, so we use that factory tool to straighten this out. This thing ought to close smooth as it gets. John, you go ahead and captain that, man. You don't need me to help.
Okay.
and we'll install it when you're done.
All right. Keep it handy and close by. We use this tool all the time. It's one of my favorites, and it really makes a difference with these old tanks to get it to seal perfectly. All right, here's how this guy works. This goes in here, connects to this. This threads into the bottom really nice. So you feed this one in first. All right. Yeah, fits real nice. Don't even have to pull it too tight just yet. What I like to do before I add this piece, because it, find a good spot here. If you'll look, you can shine a light in here if you've got one. This right here goes around this. So you want it, if you look in there, if you can see in there, you'll see this. You'll see the part that I just screwed in. See it bobbling right there? Okay, see, look, it looks straight. So we got lucky. So if it's off and you just barely push on it and it seats, it looks pretty much squared up. So when you put this on and it threads real easily, then you know it's fairly straight to begin with. And if it isn't, you can torque this whichever direction you need to get the correct alignment.
Does it look like it's in a hole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're installing the new piece. What we want to do though is make sure that we're using a combination of the old and the new parts. These are newly made for perfectly restored bikes, shiny chrome, beautiful CAD plating. We're using the old original stuff for the top that came off the bike. This stuff doesn't transfer to the functionality. The two most important pieces are that needle and seat. So spring, washer, rubber for the top, John. So if you want to go ahead and you know how hard it is to fish this thing through, you can use that. I'll get the goop for these brass washers and we'll install that in a second. But get that up and get it locked down up top first.
Bam!
You get it?
Yep.
That was fast. So the way that it goes.
It looks great. Look
yeah,
at that.
it does. It looks great, man. So we go rubber. We've got washer. We've got spring, and then we've got that old original dirty cap. Really just needs to be finger tight. Cover.
Yeah.
The sealer we're using is actually Easy Turn. It's aviation grade, fuel resistant, never sets, so it's
Right.
always soft. I wouldn't even say soft setting, but thread sealant, perfect for brass washers that act as a gasket. Use it for fuel shutoffs. The stuff is completely resistant to fuel and oil. Easy Turn. So you go ahead, slap that tank on.
Alrighty.
And I'm gonna get my hands cleaned up. And all right, man, I think you're ready to ride. We
Awesome.
got new fuel shut off in the gas tank. Let's put some fuel in it, man, and
do
run
it.
this bad boy down the road.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, thank you so
I'm
much.
glad we did this.
Yeah, this
So
one's for Dale.
it's been all too long since John and I have actually hit the road together. So I'm gonna ride my knucklehead, man.
Cool. Knuckles and pans. Don't
Yeah.
get better.
You don't want to get any better. Left side. Yep. You want a proper gas cap?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's what was on it. Everybody asked me if I'm going to change that. And I went, nope.
It's a radiator cap. It was on it when he got it.
And this one's a Eaton.
It's probably on it when my dad got it.
Yep.
So
So it's staying.
go for it. One choke.
All right. Some primes.
One more. All right.
means so much to me to have this bike back on the road and get to enjoy it and remember the good times I've had with Dale and learning so much at this museum. And I'm excited about my future with this machine and using it as a way to get others excited about this sport as much as I am.